guys, welcome to a very special episode of Michelle's Beauty Guide. On today's episode, I will be showing eyeshadow makeup on all 6 different eye shapes. I really wanted to give you guys the best visual that I could in order to help you with your particular eye shape. So with the help of my lovely coworkers, that is what we will be doing today. So we are going to grab our mask and get started. First up, we have almond eyes. As you can see, she has a nice large eyelid, and when she opens her eyes, the crease of her eyelid comes to a point with the outside corner of her eye. So we are going to enhance her outside corner upwards. First up is her transition color. So I start on the outside corner to the inside corner and keep it just between the crease of her eye and her eyebrow. Next, this shade is a little darker, and so I'm starting on her outside corner, blending down into the lash line first, and then up into the crease of her eye. Once I have my eyeshadow placed, then I go back and forth in order to blend the color upwards in order to enhance that upward motion that her eye naturally takes. Now I do a shimmery color on her eyelid in order to add lots of light to the inside of her eye. I start on the inside corner and blend my way out into my crease color, taking it fairly high on the top of the eyeball in order to keep the inside of the eye nice, bright, and open. For her eyeliner, this is a purple pencil eyeliner. I start by pulling the skin taut on the outside corner in order to reveal where her lash line ends. And then I start blending from the outside in and bringing it slightly out to a point. Once I have the outside corner finished, then I start moving towards the inside and keeping it very close to her lash line for a very natural appearance. Notice I move in small strokes and then come in with larger strokes in order to correct my line and keep everything nice and smooth. Finally, I'll go back in and enhance that outside point, which helps to enhance her eye shape but doesn't necessarily add a winged eyeliner to her look. This eyeliner has a smudger on the end, so I then use that smudger to blend out my line and make sure that everything is nice and soft. As you can see, that eyeliner comes out directly into the point which her crease makes with the outside of her eye in order to enhance her eye shape, extend the eye, and leave everything nice and natural. Next up, we have round/upturned eyes. So if you have one or the other or both, this is the perfect look for you. As you can see, she does have a little bit of her eyelid visible. However, she does have a large area between her crease and her eyebrow. So I'm going to start with my transition shade. I go fairly light on this one just to help highlight that area above her eyebrow or below her eyebrow, and blend up and out all the way up. Then I'll take my crease color and I'll start in the outside corner and shimmy till I find her natural crease. Then I'll blend that color down into her lash line, going a little further onto the actual eyelid, and then blending up and out, making sure to keep more of the product towards the inside of her eye than the outside. Next, I'll take my shimmery color on her eyelid, always starting towards the inside corner, closer to the lash line, and blending up and out. With this color, I don't take it too far out because I want to extend her crease a little more inward. So I just blend that towards a little more than halfway out of her eyeball. Next, this is just a black pencil eyeliner, holding the skin taut on the outside corner and starting at the outside of the lash line and blending towards the inside, and then extending the lash line outwards by just flicking the brush a little bit. And then I'll go back in and continue my line inward, staying very close to the lash line. Next, I'll go back out and just add the slightest bit of winged eyeliner, but going very light and gentle so that it's more of a kitten liner than a full cat eye. Next, I'm going to cut off that little corner that I had and use the edge of my pencil to create a point. As you can see, the eyeliner stays very close to her lash line so it doesn't overpower her eyelid, and extends the outside of her corner up and outward. Next, we have monolid. As you can see, when her eyes are open, she does have a little bit of her eyelid visible that is very close to the lash line, but for the most part, what's visible is the area between her crease and her eyebrow. So that space we are going to utilize in order to create the illusion of a crease. First, I go in with my transition color. As always, staying on the outside upward corner of the eye, blending all the way out and very close to the eyebrow. Next, I take my crease color. This is going to similarly follow my transition color, but I want to make sure that I stick to the true shape of her eye. So I will take my brush and I will shimmy along to expose where her eyeball ends and use that to blend upward and outward. Next, I take my eyelid color. This is just going to go very lightly on the inside corner and lash line of the eye. I decided to use a pencil eyeliner and do a winged eyeliner on her for this demo. So I hold the skin above the eyebrow or below the eyebrow taut, and that exposes her lash line. So I smudge along the lash line, and then I will continue that line upward and outward towards the outside corner of her eyebrow. As you can see, she has a little crease below where I'm creating that wing. That is where her eye naturally ends. But with the winged eyeliner, I want to open her eye upward. So I'm going slightly above that to create the illusion of her outside corner being a little higher than it truly is. Once I've established my general line, I blend all the way in to the inside corner, keeping it very tight. And then I'll go back to my outside corner and extend that point into my crease color. I then use the crease of her eyelid as a guide as to where my winged eyeliner needs to come down. So I'll take it a little more horizontal here, as you can see, towards that crease. And then once I hit that line and I've crossed it, then I blend down into that previous eyeliner guide along her lash line. This will help to keep her eyeliner visible when her eyes open, and so there is no gap. As you can see, her eyeliner is not too thick onto the inside corner and opens her eye upward and outwards towards the eyebrow, with a very natural eyeshadow and the eyeliner being the focus of this look. Next, we have downturned eyes. The eyelid area of her eye is fairly large, and the area between her crease and her brow is much smaller. And you'll notice when she opens her eyes that the outside corner of her eye and her crease both come downwards, but they do not come to a point together. So I'll start on the outside corner with my transition shade, blending up towards the eyebrow and the inside of the eyebrow, and also slightly in on the outside corner of her eyelid. Next, her crease color will start on the outside corner of the eye, and as you can see, it almost comes down at an angle, and then I blend up into the crease of her eye, using a little bit of product at a time since this color is a little darker, and making sure to stay as close as I can in that crease area without going too far above or too far below, since her area between her eyelid and her eyebrow is fairly small. Next, I'll go back in with my transition shade with a little bit more product just to help blend out that color and help with the transition. Then I will put her shimmery color on her eyelid, starting in the center and working my way out along the lash line and up into her crease color. Then I'll go back in with my crease brush with no additional product, just to help blend out that shimmery shade and also up into her transition shade. For her eyeliner, this is a liquid felt tip eyeliner, and I have her eyes open in order to establish the line that I need to take from her lash line up towards her eyebrow. Once her eye is closed, then I will extend that line down towards her lash line, using small strokes to establish my line. And a swiping motion in order to help that point of her eyeliner. Then I'll take my brush or my liner horizontal in order to apply to the lash line and keep it tight and as close as I can be to that lash line. Typically with winged eyeliner, you want to make sure that you are doing finer liner towards the inside corner and thicker towards the outside corner. Then I'll go back into my outside corner and extend my point to the desired spot, and then I'll kind of take it and cut off that area of the outside corner of the eye where her crease color and her shimmery color meet. And that will help in order to create that illusion of her eye moving upward. I then go back in with a little bit of concealer and just sharpen up my winged eyeliner, and also help to cancel out that additional pigment that got a little lower than I would have preferred for her eye shape. Because her eyes already turn downwards, if there's too much product that also follows that downward motion, it's not going to have the effect that we want. So I go back in and blend the concealer with my finger and then a beauty blender, and just really help to soften the amount of product. And then I'll go back in with my transition brush and apply a little bit of product to that area just to help soften it. As you can see, this look is a little more bold than the previous few. However, it does help to open and extend her eye outward and upward, which is giving the illusion of more of a round, opened eye than a downturned eye. Finally, we have downturned / partially hooded eyes. Her brow area is smaller because of her brow bone being a little more pronounced, and she also has a deep set crease. So when she opens her eyes, her crease and her lash line move downwards. They don't meet, but her crease is then hidden by that skin underneath her eyebrow. So I'll start with my transition shade on the outside corner of the eye, working a little bit towards the lash line, but from eyebrow end to eyebrow beginning. Then I'll take my crease color, which is going to follow that transition shade, but stay closer to the crease. She has a fairly large crease, so this is going to blend up mostly into the transition shade, but not entirely towards the eyebrow, focusing on the outside corner of the eye and blending in about 3/4 of the way. Then I'll go in with her eyelid shade, which is just a light shimmer, blending from the inside corner of the eye towards the outside of the crease color and then up into the crease as well. Then I'll go back in with my crease brush and just blend out that shimmery shade and up into her transition shade. I'm also using a felt tip liquid eyeliner on her as well. First establishing my bottom line, which is going to increase her lash line upwards towards the outside of the eyebrow. Since her crease is a little deeper, I do take little fine strokes to establish where I want my lines to be at and focus on that outside corner first. Then I'll move into her lash line using my liner horizontally to stay very close to the lash line and extend it towards the inside corner. Once I've done that, I then go back out to the wing and refine the point. And then doing any finishing touches I need to make sure that her wing is the right angle. So I do take it a little horizontal, as you can see, because that helps to keep her liner visible when her eye is open as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this video helped you with your eyeshadow placement in your day-to-day makeup routine. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Michelle's Beauty Guide.